Now, don't everybody stop talking.
Yeah,
Oh,
it looks something like that. I've got a better one than that, but I'm not sure where to find it.
So there never was a translation, huh?
Not on the schematics. The service manual is in English, but man, the schematics themselves, they've got all these little notations, but it's all in French. This one doesn't have any. Let's see.
Is it a special oscilloscope? I mean,
Yeah.
It's never been. They never.
It's a 6 gigahertz oscilloscope. What it has is a small CRT with a microchannel plate in it that's similar to the design of the 7104, the 1 gigahertz scope that came out with, which had a 5-inch screen. But this has a little screen, makes a very bright image for those high frequencies, and then fiber optically connected to a Vidicon. And then the Vidicon scans that out and puts it in memory, and then you process the signal and do all of this stuff. Anyway, it's a pretty complicated setup, and I've been beating my head against the wall. Trying to trace things out, find out what's going on. One issue was the high-speed sweep didn't work, where you're talking about a picosecond per division. I mean, it's unreal. Anyway, the high-speed deflection system was dead. Well, it turned out there was one of those brick modules to produce plus and minus 15 volts. Anyway, it had died. And at least that brought up that part, that section, but that still doesn't give me a working scope.
What do they use that for?
Oh, very high speed captures. At the time, this is at the time when you really didn't have much over a gigahertz until you got to the full digital scopes that we have today.
So it's like having a high-speed photo camera, basically, right?
Well, it's like an oscilloscope, the way it operates anyway.
But it gives you that high speed, that range that you wouldn't get from a normal one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was working at one time. Got it working at one time, but something else.
Bob, you want to show us your radio?
which one?
The one you got there handy.
Yeah, which one?
The is it Crosley, isn't it?
Oh, the Crosley, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the front of it.
Well, that's nice and clean.
Yeah, it is. Nothing broken on it. Half a dozen tubes, power transformer. So anyway.
And a shortwave band.
Yes. Yeah, it says American on top, which is our standard broadcast. And then overseas is what, 5.8 to 15 megahertz. So, oh gosh, got cats in the way here. So a fella gave me the radio as a thank you for working on his Grundig radio.
Hmm.
And then he also gave me the Atwater Kent Model 20.
Nice. Yeah, those
I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but
some of those Grundigs are kind of hard to work on.
well, this one was very clean on the inside, and the problem was speaker lead was a cold solder joint, and so it was essentially a resistor, which is why he couldn't get any volume out of it.
I'll be
Yeah.
darned.
Oh yeah. So
Quick, easy fix, man.
oh yeah, and an audio tube. So yeah. So anyway, it's a ham that is getting older. He has a tower and a tri-bander up in the air and amplifier and a big console that he works at. And but he just is getting old and doesn't have the time to put into it anymore. So, but the hams here will eventually, I told him he should rent time in his shack
There you go.
for ham. Yeah. So,
When you got a
But,
super shop like that, you know?
oh yeah, yeah. So anyway, I was planning on taking a trip up to the U.S. Turner Joy, which is in Bremerton, and then swing down and for a wedding, and then pick up a radio from Robbie. But my next trip up to the ship will be in November for Veterans Day. We'll put it on the air.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice.
We put the ship on the air twice a year. First weekend in June for Museum Ship Weekend, and then again on Veterans Day. So,
Nice.
So.
What ship
Yeah.
is that?
the USS Turner Joy. It's a Vietnam era destroyer, open as a museum in Bremerton.
Well, you ought to stop by the Sparks Museum there.
Not familiar with it.
Oh, you should be. Put that on your agenda. I don't know their schedules now, but they've got a lot of radios, TVs, displays of tubes, the Titanic transmitter set up, a replica.
Uh-huh.
Got all kinds of great stuff. And then they've got
Where is that?
what's that?
Where is it?
It's in Bellingham,
Oh, Bellingham. Okay.
since you're going to be up that way.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, they also have the Tesla.
Bellingham's quite a ways from Bremerton.
Well, it's a
Yeah,
couple
it's
hour
a-
drive anyway.
Yeah, it's a ways. It's a lot farther from here. Let's put it that way. Anyway, they have a bunch of real highfalutin Tesla coils that they fire
yeah.
off.
Sure.
They weren't doing it during the week. I was there on a Wednesday, but they did it that Wednesday because they had a school bus full of kids
Oh, yeah.
to demonstrate. And so I was able to see the huge Tesla coils they got going there. The bar next door, I was getting lunch there and their TV went blank. I mean,
Yeah.
they kicked off those
Yeah.
Tesla coils. But anyway, Jonathan Winters is the head guy there. Really nice guy. Lots of stuff to see there. There's a lot of ham transmitters and receivers.
I'll have to take a look at that.
Isn't that the place also that has the working studio theremin?
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Because I remember seeing that. There was quite a lot of fun to try to play the theremin.
Have you watched Midsummer Night Murders on OPB?
No.
The introduction to that is theremin, played with the theremin.
Ah, sure, yeah.
If you look up, if you Google it, there's some fabulous players, but I tell you, I'm not one of them. My brother's son wanted to build one, and so I got him a schematic and I got him some parts, and anyway, he built it up. It's got 6 12AU6s in it. And anyway, as he grew up, why he's lost interest in that. So we've got it at the museum, the Vintage Tech Museum, hooked up to an oscilloscope with the theremin, a keyboard, and a microphone and a guitar, so that you can look at the waveforms that these different sounds put out and such. They're a lot of fun, but I don't know how you play. People play them, but it takes an artiste.
Yeah. Well, Mark, have you been on the air?
Quite often, not currently though.
No. Okay. All right. Well, here in Twin Falls, I've tried a variety of antennas, and the one I've settled on is commonly referred to as the radiating dummy load, and has a transformer at the bottom and then a 19-foot radiator. But it'll get me halfway around the world.
So it's basically a vertical,
Yes. Yes.
okay, with a base loading coil on it.
Yes. Yeah. So the antenna that radiates bad in all directions.
So you basically need a bit of a ground plane for that, don't you?
No, no ground plane with it. So the 6-to-1 transformer, and then the radiator. Antenna is made by Sigma. So
No, I'm not familiar with that one.
yeah.
I have a Cushcraft R7 vertical.
Sure. Yeah. Up
It
on the
doesn't
ship.
do 160 meters at all, and doesn't like 6 meters at all either.
No, no, neither did my neighbors. Yeah. Yeah. But we put up a tri-bander on the ship when we're there operating. Yeah.
So how many people are involved in that?
Oh, I think there's 20 members, and usually on a good weekend, like back in June, we have contacted as many as 1,000 hams, but this last June, I think we were only 250 plus about 25 museum ships.
Now, the Battleship New Jersey is kind of the lead on that museum
Yeah.
ships on the air, isn't it?
Right, right.
And then the Missouri over in Hawaii always plays with that group as well, I believe.
Oh, yes. Yeah, the first year we could hear the New Jersey, but we couldn't, not New Jersey, but the Missouri, but we couldn't work them.
Yeah,
We kept hearing, King Henry VI, Bravo, Bravo, but we couldn't work them.
yeah. Well, we got almost, well, I think 4 museum ships in the Portland Harbor. 3 of them are probably in better state of repair than the 4th one. That's the submarine
Right, the blueback.
and the LCI.
Not
Chelsea.
familiar with that.
LCI 713, and then there's the PT 658. Those 2 boats both have Collins TCS 12 transmitter receivers.
Hmm.
And the receiver on the PT boat is functioning thanks to Bill Holman and myself. And over on the LCI, they've got a working transmitter receiver combo TCS-12, and we're just getting ready to do the museum ships on the air when COVID came along. So I don't know if they ever went any further than that. They basically shut down a year and a half ago.
Right. Yes, we were on the ship this June. And hopefully we'll be able to be there in November for Veterans Day. But
Well, I'll look for you on the air. Maybe I'll be operating from the well, let's see, no, that's September 11th. PT boat on September 11th is going to be over at the Port of Vancouver for a commemoration ceremony.
Right. It's difficult to get from Bremerton down to Portland because it's too close. And we need some sort of a NVIS antenna. But
Right.
I thought I saw Mark there for a little bit.
Well, the PT boat has a vertical antenna, but before we started working on the radios, they had decided it was the perfect thing for a flagpole.
Sure.
So they've also shortened it a little bit accidentally by snagging it when they go in and out of the boathouse on some of the overhead rigging.
Oh,
So
great.
even though it's a Monel, which is a specialty material that kind of was very rare in the 1940s, I think, it's been shortened a little bit, and not really a problem. But the 400 volts on the finals of the TCS-12, I'm a little leery about having the flagpole fire up when you have people that don't read warning signs on deck.
Oh, yes. Right. Yeah.
So
You can have a lot of voltage up there at the top.
yeah, the onboard power supply for the PT boat right now is a little dual motor generator set. Puts out 200 volts for the receiver finals and 400 volts for the transmitter. So it'll knock some sense into whoever touches it inadvertently. But the other thing is that those old transmitters are only AM or CW. Sideband wasn't thought of yet.
Yeah. I was working on an amplifier with Robbie Robinson, and we turned it off, but I didn't give the bleeder resistor sufficient time, and
That was a shocking experience, I'm sure.
lately, and that was 4,000 volts on the plates. And so I asked him, I said, "Do you have your cell phone with you? You might want to get 911 dialed in." So, but I'm still here. So.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily voltage, it's the current.
Oh
Yeah, I
yeah.
heard that.
We used to have the ringers on the military field phones, with the perfect hand crank generator for charging up capacitors.
Oh yeah.
Then you play hot potato with them.
Yeah.
The things you do when you're young and foolish.
Or young and foolish.
Hey, Pat, you want to say something about what's coming up?
Sure, thanks. This coming Saturday, we should have some items for the free table. And we also have a guest coming in. He's joining the club, but he's also donating all his radios for the auction. And it's 100% donation, I sent out an email showing the radios, and they aren't quite, they're not that bad. They're not like the stuff we're getting from some of these other states. So I did send that out, and hopefully you guys got that. But it looks like about, what, 25 radios, 5 transistors, no consoles, maybe some test equipment, but he should show up early Saturday. We're gonna put him on display, and Mike McCrow is gonna auction them off. And remember, all the auction and free table stuff goes on before the meeting starts.
Those radios look pretty clean.
Yeah, they do. He says he went through them. They all work, but they've been put away for so long, he's not sure. But if they were restored and he used modern, electrical little stuff, that they probably will plug in and play. But we'll have power there, so we'll just, if someone wants to plug them in before the auction starts, we'll do it. Ooh, I want that, not that one. I want that plastic one.
So Pat, I just read where the mask mandate was reinstated in Oregon.
What? I didn't hear that. So I'll see you guys Saturday. Seriously, David, what kind of mandate do we have? I mean, we're fully vaccinated, and
I don't know, Pat. It's just I'm trying to get to it. The emphasis of indoor mask requirements is on personal responsibility. We're asking Oregonians to make a commitment to protect those alive wearing a mask. A new mask mandate, a new mask requirement, which goes into effect Friday, applies to adults and children who are older than 5, regardless of vaccination status. On public transportation, face coverings are required for passengers age 2 and older.
So is it a recommendation or is it a requirement?
I read it as a requirement.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's starting Friday of this week.
Yes.
So it's not real clear about outside events, but I think any inside events are supposed to be masked.
That's what I read. Now with this Delta variant, the way it works though is that, the 6 feet doesn't work, right? The 6 feet, 15 minutes isn't sufficient. I mean, they've got people that have shown to have caught the virus just by walking in the same hallway. Walking
with the mask on or without a mask?
Without a mask on, just walking in the hallway, going past each other. So
it sounds like maybe what we should do then is we should throw the free items outside on tables and then move the auction outside.
It should be warm enough and dry enough outside.
Okay, no, it's going to be miserably hot in the next 3 days, so we could do that, but we still are probably going to meet inside. So I hesitate to call the meeting off at this late date. What we could do is send out a note saying that masks are required.
Yeah. That would be the first thing, I think.
Okay. All right. Well, we may need some help then Saturday because Dan Howard and I are planning to drive in Friday evening to unload the pre-table stuff. It's going to be difficult we're not going to be able to leave it outside overnight.
Well,
although it's hard to say, I don't think very many people would steal it.
Yeah, it's free.
So we may need help Saturday morning to brush that stuff all outside. And like I say, the auction is supposed to start before the meeting so we can get that done. But if it's only 25 items and we have an hour, 8 to 9:15, we should be able to do it, the auction in that time.
Yeah, a lot of people don't get there that early normally.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'll send out an email then either later tonight or tomorrow morning to say, okay, masks are required and that we're going to hold the auction and the free table outside. So what is the distance requirement then? If Delta variant is, 6 feet, doesn't matter. If we have our mask on, what is the safe bubble we need to put around us? Dave, did it mention anything like that?
I didn't read anything in there about that. I'd have to. try to
If I
find it.
want to go download what our governor has set up, Pat. But the more you can get done, the earlier is going to be better because it's going to be a hot sucker. And us old farts, we can't take the heat very well.
Sure.
I doubt that I'll make it. I just had a 3B chemo today. Spent all day getting dripped on.
Mm.
So I won't be feeling up to it, I'm pretty sure. One of these days I'll get to a real meeting again.
Well, we'll have a meeting August, September will be there. October will be in Aurora, assuming we get to do that in Aurora. And of course, the week after next is our joint show up in Chehalis. So God, I hope that's not canceled as well.
Well, Washington doesn't seem to be as serious about the masks, but I have to see. I have to see what Inslee's got up there on his mind.
So UC Davis said that the masking distance of 3 feet should be sufficient, but I can't find anything as far as
3 feet, not 6, huh?
is what they said. No,
Yeah.
but I mean, you can read the article yourself. I'm trying to find.
Oh, okay. You just put it up on chat. Yeah.
Yeah. It's twice as transmissible as original SARS.
I thought it was more than that. Now they're having quite a fight down there in good old Florida. The schools want masks. The governor outlawed masks. How can
How can he do that?
I don't know. How can
He outlawed a
outlaw it?
requirement for masks. So he's saying that you can't require them to wear masks. That's what he outlawed. So you can still wear masks. You weren't breaking the law, but he outlawed them to try to require it. But they went ahead and did it.
No, he's not going to fund the schools that require it.
Right.
That's kind of outlawing it. As far as I can tell.
Well, it's not against the law to wear a mask inside, but it's against the law to require it. It's kind of interesting how they do it. Politics works that way.
Works.
Or doesn't work that way, I should say. That was just today the governor came out with this new mask mandate, right?
I believe so.
A day or two ago, I think.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, but the effective date was to start Friday. Or is it to start at the end of Friday? I don't recall now. So I spent all day with my hooker. You want to see her?
Sure.
She's tall and skinny, and she's got 5 tits. You see her there?
Yeah.
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 5 bags of flowing. Well, I guess this guy's not hooked up right now. But that was a total of yeah, it was 12 today. 12 of these bags.
Wow.
Anyway, I took my hooker for walks down the hall and into the bathroom 6 or 7 times. Kept her close by. She's got wheels.
So you amused yourself by taking pictures of her.
Yeah. Why not?
No, we're talking about radio stuff.
You're getting patent.
I don't know what her resonant frequency is. What, 27 megahertz tall there? I'm not sure.
I'm jealous. Mine only has two bags. And I did it today too.
Oh, you did? Uh-huh.
Still plugged in right now for tomorrow. You can see.
Huh?
See the plug and play.
Yeah, they just poke me every time.
I have a port since I get it so often.
How often?
Every 3 weeks.
Every 3 weeks? Okay.
But I don't get nearly as much as you do. I only get 2 bags, about 1.5 liters, something like that.
Yeah, well, I had to take my hooker to the bathroom 6 or 7 times today. During the
12
day.
bags. Wow, that's a lot of fluids.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, she's probably at 27 megahertz vertical. I don't know what those hooks at the top will do to her coverage.
They work as antennas, wouldn't they?
So Pat, I read something on NPR about this, and they say that the spreading mechanism is the same between the Delta variant and older variants. So I would assume that, you know, if you use the same procedures, the Delta, you just generate a lot more viruses. That's why it's so much more contagious. So when people emit them, that a lot more of them are emitted. So I think that if you just follow the same procedures, you know, the 6-foot distancing, try to, you know, that things will be fine. So.
Okay, sounds good.
So we were more than 6 foot in the hospital as far as our seating was going in the clinic. And of course, the nurses, most of them had a mask and a face shield.
Yeah.
And then when they come with some of these nasty chemicals, they even have another shroud that they wear, that they put on in case it gets spilled on, I guess, the nasty stuff that they're putting in your veins. Jeez.
They're yellow smocks.
Yeah, little smocks. They're putting on blue ones here.
Oh,
That's at Providence. You're at Kaiser, right?
no, I'm Providence too, but I'm at I'm not Providence. I'm at, I go to the Compass Oncology place and a Broadway.
Oh,
Next.
okay.
And business has picked up. There's a lot more people there than there used to be. And I can't go without not, you know, getting in there. So I've got to go no matter what. But some people put it off during the COVID thing. They just didn't show.
No, they're having lots of cancellations for standard things,
Yeah.
standard surgeries and things. They just don't, there's no room at the end.
But I figured with the IV, you know, with the intravenous stuff that people would still be going. But I think a lot of people just didn't go from, you know, even though it probably hurt a lot of people, by not going, that's for sure. I was there all by myself a couple times. And normally there's There's 30 people there.
Yeah, we probably have over 50 up there on the 11th floor of the main Providence on Gleason.
Hey, Franklin, did anyone bring anything for the what's it tonight?
Not that I know. Blake wasn't here. You got some?
Well, I just dug this out today. I'm not sure what this is, but it's got this long thing.
Yeah,
Fill that in there.
Yep.
And you look at this, you can turn it.
Yep.
And you can put the line through there and then you can turn it back. So I thought, wow, wouldn't that be great for an extension cord? You could hang it from wherever and you can string it all over the house, but I don't think it was meant for extension cords.
300 ohm twin lead.
So Bruce, what's it for? Is it for an antenna or what?
TV antenna twin lead.
Twin lead wire. So it fits perfect in there between the two sides. And then you twist it.
300 ohm twin line.
Yeah, see, the normal TV antenna is 300 ohms. And it's a twin line that they send down. Now TVs have got 75 ohm inputs, so you put a ballon in there to convert it to 75 ohms from the twin lead. You haven't seen twin lead wire?
Well, maybe you got a sample. I probably have seen it, but you show it to me and then I'll see if I've seen it before.
How about on a set of rabbit ears?
It's brown wire and it's got two leads that are what, about half an inch apart?
Oh, it's kind of clear wire?
It's all kinds of wire.
But they can be clear. Two wires?
Two
Oh,
wires.
so you just slide it in there and you turn that and that's it?
That locks it in. Yeah. See, and then the wires fit in on the two round sections on there.
Oh.
And then these were along the side of the house, right, Bruce? Didn't they just to keep it from the house?
Bringing it down.
They drilled them into the house or bolted it onto something so it would be freestanding.
You don't want your twin lead sitting flat against the house, changing its impedance.
Oh, okay.
You want it out in the air, uninterrupted. So this brought your twin lead down to your TV set from the antenna. Help position it away from the house or anything else, gutters and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
Mark has some, doesn't he?
Right here.
There you go. Red twin lead.
This is
That's fancy ones.
that's a Helicrafter Skyrider antenna,
Oh, yeah.
but it came where it has a plug on it like that.
Mhm.
But the wire itself is a 300 ohm twin lead. It's spaced, conductor on either side.
Wasn't it more commonly brown?
It's brown quite often. It's also clear.
Clear.
Or
Like
color.
on rabbit
these-
ears.
They were very common also in the Transoceanics for the wave magnet antennas would use a twin lead like that.
So that 600L
Well,
probably has it in the
Bruce
back.
had some clear stuff.
Yeah, so on the side. straight
Oh.
on.
Yeah.
This you can see where the wires fit in those little bitty circles. Because of the clearness here. So it bulges out over those wires.
Hmm.
And typically you twisted it. That helped get rid of ghosts and stuff where the signal might actually pick up on the twin lead coming down. But if you twist it, then it gets the signal coming in gets on one wire and then gets on the other wire. So it kind of cancels out.
Huh.
So there, Pat,
Ooh, thanks.
what else you got?
Well, that's what I dug up. I've been going outside. I've been doing inventory for all this McCracken stuff. I mean, there's a lot of items that we had to pick up. It was another one of those, you pick up everything or nothing.
Uh-huh.
So Yep. We have everything instead of nothing.
So it's about time for trash bash, huh?
Yeah, there's going to be some items coming in Saturday, and providing we could meet in September, there should be some items coming in that day as well.
Bruce,
Okay.
did you know him? Did you know McCracken, that guy?
What was that?
Did you know the guy down there in the guy McCracken?
Yeah, Jim or James.
Yep. James McCracken? He had 6,000 radios at one time.
Did he have a wife?
That's what happened is he got married and then he stopped collecting radios, but he started collecting stationary engines. So,
Oh,
which are big money, right? I mean, they're in the, tens of thousands of dollars.
I haven't a clue what they're worth. I've always wanted one. Yeah.
He had 4 or 5 of them, I believe. There's 3 bays there, but I think they had 4 or 5 of them. He was restoring them, and then they sold this on auction worldwide.
My dad thought I was crazy. Well, my dad wasn't mechanical or electrical. Anyway, I had our lawnmower running on gasoline and diesel and gas, natural gas, and propane. And I tried all kinds of things running that lawnmower engine on. Some of them were easy to convert, some of them weren't.
Do you know anybody in the club that has 6,000 radios?
Rudy,
Oh, yeah?
He had all
ever
those.
been out to Rudy's place before he died?
I never made it, but he had a lot of car radios, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah, in that 30 by 60 building, he had no garage door for it, just a man door going into it. He had 5 antique vehicles, and the place was just littered with radios. Yeah.
So what happened to him? I never went to a sale he had after he passed. What happened to all the radios and car radios?
I think his son was handling everything. But what a mess.
One of them what?
So people told him he should get rid of it, but I told Rudy it was his stuff. He could do with it as he wished.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm going with him. Huh?
Yeah.
Can't take the money with you either, right? So you might as well play with the radios.
So whatever happened to the Volkswagen with, what was it, 12 miles on it or something like that?
Yeah, there was a bug in a shed, and you could just barely see it, recognize it. It
Mhm.
was covered with paraphernalia. I first met Rudy when he wanted some cable for a huge generator he had outside. And so.
We hear you.
Hospital
Yeah, Jeff,
helicopter.
So
Anyway,
nobody,
he gave me an old Zenith wooden case, probably from 42. So I still have it.
so nobody knows what happens to that brand new Volkswagen, huh?
I don't know.
Because what I understand is he went to the dealer, drove it home, and that was it. Parked it, and that was it.
Yeah.
And Pat, you didn't get to go see it? You're a Volkswagen.
No, I
guy.
like Volkswagens. I would have loved to seen it. From what I heard, that the story on that is that he never installed the hubcaps on it. So the hubcaps were never put on. And then I heard that he got another battery to use. He never filled the original brand new battery with any sulfuric acid. So he had to get another battery to drive the car home. At least that's the story I heard.
Yeah.
What year was it? Or of a Beetle was it? Was it like a split window or something?
No, it was a black 64.
Oh, okay.
So he wanted to keep it as original as possible, even down to the battery. Oh, that's Rudy. Yeah, I gave him quite a number of car radios.
Yeah, go ahead.
He was always happy to get them.
Well, I like to know what happened to all this stuff. I don't remember, hearing anything or, Craigslist or, whatever.
And you would think with that much stuff, it had to make the news somewhere.
So I take it none of the people on this Zoom meeting tonight ever went to any sales or saw anything for sale.
No.
Hmm.
Did Blake know him that well?
Yeah, I think so. I think everyone knew Rudy.
Yeah, pretty well, but I wonder if Blake knew him real well. I don't know. Maybe he has more info. Next meeting, we'll tag him if he's on.
Yeah, he should be back. I'm not sure when he'll be back.
Is he off on vacation or work?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Geez, he can go ahead and just take off on vacation and leave us sitting here.
Yeah, I got a question. Does anyone know what happened to Warren Wright? I don't think he's a member or hasn't been a member, but there was a question. I got someone interested because they have something of his and they're not too sure what to do with it now.
Do we know if he's alive or dead?
I think he may have passed. So that's the issue. It's like, what do they do with his equipment that was sent out and repaired or whatever? And so they don't know what to do with it.
So we never did find that Japanese family that Zenith belonged to, right?
No,
Yeah.
it's still supposedly at the Nikkei museum downtown.
Oh, okay.
But
Good.
still, I don't know if anyone, is still around enough to remember that. So
Sure.
And the information we had was kind of strange. He really didn't know their address. So he just that was the hard thing. We just thought Gresham. So, but he could have been anywhere in the, Portland area. So a lot of people thought, right?
yeah, they sure did. It was on TV and everything. We should research that guy and see where he lived and then try to find out if someone lived next door to him was of Japanese descent.
But he's passed too, right?
Yeah, but his family's around.
Yeah, I had a Japanese buddy from the second grade. He died here just 2 years ago, but he had kind of he was born in a camp in Idaho. And
I've been to that camp.
what's that?
I've been to that camp up in
Oh, okay.
Minidoka.
Anyway, he had kind of a hard time with people. Greatest guy in the world, though. Oh, man. We were great buddies, but yeah, sometimes the public's not too nice. And back when he was younger, like when we were in grade school and high school, people still remembered the war pretty bad. And now a Chinese buddy of mine, he's getting a lot of shit,
like that, anyone of Muslim descent.
Oh, I'm sure,
after
yeah.
9/11,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So it's funny how we think.
Isn't it? Yeah. Who's got the crickets? Hear 'em?
Well, not to change the subject, but this is let's see, there it is.
Little record player.
Yeah, radio record player, wooden case made by Admiral. So,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
sometime in the 40s, I imagine, has the All-American 5 tubes in it.
Uh-huh.
But Blake managed to get me the cartridge and stylus for it. And so I played a 78 record today.
All right.
So anyway, so maybe I bought it at a secondhand store. So I'll either, there is somebody in the club. I see it in the call letter. What's the name of our publication?
The call letter.
Call letter. Okay. Well, I get so many, but anyway, that's looking for radio record players.
Hmm.
But I called him and never got a call back. But,
Oh, that's John Livingston. He's moving out of the area, so he probably is not available because he's moving.
well, maybe he's moving to Idaho. Yeah, not a day goes by that I don't see California and Oregon, Washington plates. Oh.
So Bob, how many of those record players do you want? I know that there's going to be definitely more than one on the free table this coming Saturday. Do you want us to save you all of them?
No, I want a console that's got a record player.
Oh my God.
Hey, there was a really cool wire recorder.
Robbie had a recorder, I think.
It's a wire, this is the wire recorder, but it's a console wire recorder. That was there. It was pretty cool looking, but it weighed a ton though. It took 3 people to pick it up. Did
that belong to Robbie?
No, it was in the McCracken. Did you see that,
okay.
Pat?
No, I didn't get to lift it up or anything like that. I didn't see it.
It's a little shorter than most of those consoles, and the outside case still need to be refinished, but it wasn't bad. It probably just need to be all refinished. But yeah, it was heavy. I mean, it took 3 people to pick it up and get it up there. Most of them, they can grab the radio, and then one person can, angle it up so that they can get the bottom of the radio up to the truck level.
Yeah.
But that wire recorder was not going. It was just.
Jeez.
Have you ever seen a collection like that before, Pat? With that many radios?
No.
And we got just what was left over after 5 sales. So you figure it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Why? There's some people in the club that have lots. I don't want to name names, but I know that they have more than a couple storage units.
Yeah, I know a few of them, but that was crazy. And to have everything out there, and everything was different too. It wasn't like they had, 25 of one radio. I don't think there were 2 radios that were exactly the same. Was there? Did you see any?
Oh yeah, there were a few, but not very many. They were here and there.
Yeah, a few of those Zeniths were very close, but they weren't the same radios. I was looking at them, but yeah, did you see some that were the exact same radio?
Oh yeah. Some
okay.
Definitely some of the plastic radios, because I'm more into the plastic radios. And I don't remember seeing any duplicate wood radios, but they were definitely duplicate plastic sets. Not many though, but not many.
You're talking about storage unit. My wife says I've got 2 of them here. 2 shops in the backyard. Those are my storage units.
Oh.
Now, who was the former treasurer that had multiple storage units? And after he died, his wife got a bill for him?
Oh,
Yeah.
That must have
Ed
been
Sherman.
Yeah, there you go. How many storage units did he have that she didn't know about? like
I don't know.
16, 18,
I think it
Ooh,
was like 19 or something like that.
19. Yeah, and he was paying that every month.
they
And
got to be $100 a piece or more, don't they?
oh yes, yes, and she knew nothing about it.
Hmm.
Wow.
Wow, what happened to all the stuff in the storage units?
Well, I remember the doors were open and the guys bid on them.
Oh,
Yeah,
So they bid on the whole unit.
yeah, yeah. Oh,
Well, we
you
were
guys-
invited to a lot of the sales. His name was Ryan, R-I-A-N. And you call him up and say, well, I want to buy, and you'd meet him over at the house, the garage or storage unit, and he would sell stuff. I guess some of the storage units, they sold the entire unit, at a time, but we were buying a lot of plastic and wood radios, and we would just come over and pick them out, and then he'd name a price, and we'd do business.
Yes.
Yeah, the story I heard on that is when the wife found out, she was just like panicked, and she was willing to sell everything for $500 just to get out. I mean, all the radios everywhere.
Oh yes.
And yeah, and Ryan is his son, and he stepped in and stopped his mom from doing that. And it's a good thing, because I'm sure that everything sold was way more than $500.
Oh, to be sure. Well, gentlemen, I have to call it a night, but we'll catch up with you next Wednesday. And
good
I'm
talking
sorry
with you, Bob.
I won't be driving over from Twin Falls for the meeting on Saturday. And-
Not even for the free stuff?
Well, I don't even know if I can find a mask.
Yeah, okay.
So anyway, you guys take care.
All right, you too.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. I don't think they believe in masks in Idaho. It's a lot like Florida.
So how many people, this Delta variant, how many people are dying from the Delta variant? Is it like as lethal as the first one, or is it more lethal?
Okay, let's see if I can bring this up on the other. Did I keep it?
I
handy?
don't know. I don't think it's any more lethal. I think it is more transmittable. So, the problem is that our vaccination rate in the United States is low, which means that these variants can start up.
Okay, so for the day, Oregon reports 1,991 new confirmed cases, 8 new deaths. And it's really the counties that are far out are what are picking up. Percentage wise, they're really cooking the COVID. Down the list here, Baker 25, Benton 12, Clackamas 143, Clatsop 40, Columbia 80, Coos 23, Cook 10, Curry 15, Deschutes 46, Douglas 209, Gillum 2, Harney 2, Hood River 6, Jackson 247.
Where's Jackson? What's the city at Jackson?
Jackson County is down toward Medford there. I forget exactly where.
That's what I was thinking, is Medford area, right?
How many people are there though? There's not even 10,000 people there, is there?
Oh, Medford's bigger than that.
I don't know what anyway, it goes on. Josephine, 129. Klamath, 8. Lane, 144. Lincoln, 24. Lynn, 38. Malheur, 16. Marion, 116. That's Salem area.
So Bruce, how many people died?
These are the cases that were reported for today. Multnomah, 157. Polk, 48.
No, I meant total. You said there was like 1,900 or something like that total.
1991. Yeah.
And then how many deaths?
8.
All right.
Umatilla, 121. Washington County, 199. Yamhill, 50. Anyway, it's a lot of the small counties that are kicking the quantities up now.
So that's a 0.4 percent death rate, which sounds like almost like the same number with COVID-19.
Well, that's what it is, isn't it? COVID-19 death rate.
Yeah, it's 0.4%, something like that.
Yeah, I didn't. There's another one that nationally that put out, and they show the percentage. I don't have that one handy right now. But anyway, it's kicking ass. I mean, 2,000 a day. I mean, you know, we used to, holy crap, 200 a day. Oh man, you know, and now it's 10 times that. And you know, my immune system's knocked to hell with all this cancer stuff, you know, and even though I've had my shots, you know, my immune system's sucking hind tit. So I've been wearing my mask everywhere I go so far. I never quit wearing it. No more radio stories?
Anybody?
We were talking adapters the other day, right?
Oh, yeah.
Here's an octal. And then on top, you've got the connection pads so that you can see the circuit voltages without getting underneath the chassis. I must have something else here.
Well, guys, I think I'm gonna go away. I've got to get up at 5:30 tomorrow, so I'm gonna be.
There's a 900 volt Zener or gas discharge tube. Let's see if it works any better from this side. It's kind of hard to see the inside. At least the part that arcs in the middle.
So gas discharge, you're saying it'll
Glows.
okay. I mean, so the gas is ionized, but I'm trying to think of it. That's for I can't remember what those gas discharge tubes do. They're diodes, aren't they?
Yeah, you can make them work like a diode to a certain extent, but enough reverse voltage will still ignite it backwards.
So it's just so basic. Oh, okay, right. So basically, it'll sit there and nothing will happen until the voltage goes up, and then it'll ignite. It'll pass current.
Like a neon bulb.
Yeah.
Only this is a different gas in there, which has a different breakdown voltage than neon. And I don't know what this is.
What color is it?
It's a very, very violet discharge.
Like nitrogen then, right?
Well, I was thinking it might have been nitrogen, yeah. I haven't found a whole lot of information on it.
It's for voltage regulators. So Bruce, do those when you run a tube like that as a voltage regulator,
Mhm.
do you is it fired all the time, or
Yes. If it's not firing all the time, you don't have a voltage regulation.
Yeah. So that's like, was it the 01A is a similar? That's a voltage reg, that's gas discharge too, isn't it?
Oh, 1A?
No, I don't remember.
Oh God, I'm OG3
OG3?
is a gas regulator.
Okay.
I think it's 150 volts. And then you've got, what's the other letters? But I know there's other letters that are tailored to different voltages,
Mhm.
like the OG3. Okay, where'd Pat go? He left. He got tired of us. So here's a tuning mechanism to something. Let me put it over the white area there. Basically, there's two spring clips here that a metal dial turns through as you rotate it. Anybody need one?
I have no idea what that would be from.
Yeah, there's two shims that are together here that you can just about get your fingernail between, but it's made for a thin piece of dial that basically you turn your dial with this. Oh, here, I'll hook it to my white thing back there. See here? Now I turn this and my white dial back there should be turning.
Oh,
Anyway, somebody must need one of these for a radio with a broken shim, huh? No?
Gee,
I put it on
It
the
is
table. I don't think anybody'd know what it was, you know?
no, it is brass though, isn't it?
They're brass shims. Spring
Isn't it
loaded.
a poor man's vernier dial?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go, guys.
I thought I'd just check in and say hi.
Okay.
Hey, Mark, we missed you.
Well, Mark, it's 100 here. What's it there?
100? It's let's see. It's 87 on the back and the eye. It's pretty toasty too.
Actually, it's down to 94 with 37% humidity by now.
37%. We got 65%. So
Yeah.
that's about as warm as it gets back here, though.
I got up to 101 today.
101 today, huh?
Yeah. 104 to 6 tomorrow.
Oh, 106, 4 to 6 tomorrow, huh? Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, you know, which TV can raise the most commotion, you know, by
Right.
putting up some
Crazy number.
number. Who can put up the highest number, you know, get their attention.
Yeah, I got you. So I saw you guys were getting picked up a lot of radios from down south.
Oh yeah, a lot of radios.
How many did you end up picking up?
Okay, we got 2 truck bed loads full. We got a trailer full and packed. And it was so impressive how Pat packed those radios. He put the consoles in, and then he put about 3 to 4 plastic radios in each console. So
Yeah.
it was packed. I couldn't believe how many radios he got in there. He got inside there. He filled my Subaru full of communication sets, and they made my poor Subaru squat. They were so heavy. I was like, oh my gosh, I should never put that much weight in my little Subaru.
Yeah.
But it was.
Yeah. So you got the boat anchors in, huh?
I did. I was like, that was not a good idea. And
Yeah.
then they put wood radios on top of them. Pat's like, well, the communications things you can't hurt them, so we'll put wood radios on top. Anyway,
So when are we gonna see an inventory so I can?
he's working on it right now. That's why he had to leave.
Okay.
And then we had a 26-foot U-Haul packed chest high from the front to the back.
Oh, Sounds like you got pulled about 1,000 radios or something.
Oh, must be at least that. The guy had, when we started this, of course, he's had 5 sales, but he had 6,000 radios. He had a barn that must have been at least 100 foot by 60 foot. I mean, it's a gigantic barn. I can show you a picture of some of the barn.
Yeah, I'd like to. Well, or if you post it on there, I'd like to see that. That's always neat seeing other people's stuff.
Well, this was after we pulled everything out, but let's see. I think I have it on here. See, here's the trailer. This is in. I'll show you that. Oops, it should be loaded. Anyway, they unloaded it all. They got it all in Bill's barn. So we're gonna have stuff for the free table for years. That's just the trailer that they filled.
Wow.
Filled up his barn.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. The guy hadn't been collecting in 22 years. He got married to this wife, and they got into stationary engines. This is how big the building was. Oops. I should have took pictures before we left, but Pat had those. So that's the barn. And so it was filled from floor to ceiling with radios.
Wow.
That's just one wall. So all the way around, all these
shop.
tables of radios. There's a loft up there that was packed with radios, and then 2 rooms. All the Zeniths were, like the high tube Zeniths were in this back room under the stairs.
So were there high tubes count Zeniths that were left over too?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So that's the trailer that we all packed after they got them all in there. That's another one picture there.
Crazy. Guess you're gonna have to expand the club to find homes for all this stuff.
Yeah, crazy. There's a crazy amount of radios there. I've never seen anything like it, but nobody's seen anything like it.
Well, before you were part of the club, Ed Sharman, who was a treasurer for years, he passed away. He had 17 storage units full of radios. And I've heard of even bigger collections, which is like.
How many radios do you think he had? Or would you even know?
No, I don't. They had like probably about at least one storage unit. Because his son-in-law sorted it out, and probably about a garage full of communications receivers and transceivers came out of all that stuff. And because Brian and I bought a bid on one of the lots, and that took a lot to disperse that. We took it to swap meets and ended up. First we had sales, the club members that wanted 10%, what we thought they should be priced at, or and then we took things to the ham swap meets, and then we put the rest of it on eBay, stuff that nobody wanted, and it took quite a while to basically this probably broke even with the money we put into it, and that was fine. We just didn't want to see it disappear and go somewhere across the country. So
you bought the whole?
No, we bought one lot of the communications, ham gear that came out of it.
So how much did you invest to start?
What's that?
How much did you invest to start? I mean,
about 10.
10 grand, huh?
Yeah. And we got our money out of it, but we weren't trying to make money. Like I say, we just didn't want to see the first lot disappeared, and so we thought like, oh, this is terrible, because local people that knew Ed, if they wanted to bid on something like that, but it turned out it was John, OSK John, and I can't remember the other guy's name. He passed away now. So it didn't really go that far away. but we didn't know at the time. And it was just, you know.
I don't. Communication sets are hard to sell now, aren't they? I mean, they go for almost nothing.
It just depends. Just
Yeah.
depends
Hmm.
what it is and where it is, and I suppose there's still a lot of hams that I think are interested in such things, and including me. But I've took a lot less than I used to have when I moved to Hawaii. So,
Yeah.
and then Mark's not on here, but I found an NC 400, which is a pretty rare, fairly rare. I mean, not, I don't know, rare is rare, but they didn't make a lot of them. They were very expensive. I found an NC 400 over here, so I took it apart and took the transformer out and some other pieces to lighten the load, so I could get it onto the airline baggage without paying excess fees and stuff. And because he bought it for me, and I brought it over on one of my trips. So,
Did you keep it under? Did you keep it under 50 pounds?
I think 60 was the number I had to keep it under, and so it took. I actually had to take the case, which is pretty heavy, you know, the steel case, and the transformer was in that, and a few other pieces, and then I very carefully packed the, you know, the receiver and the other, you know, so I could take it in a cardboard box into, you know, the
Carry on.
not carry on. No, it was in the luggage. But
Oh,
I just packaged it, you know. That way it split up I think, like I say, I think it's 60 pounds I had to be under in a Hawaiian. And so it cost me $35 to bring that second box over because I get the first check-in for free. See, so that since I was on the way anyway.
Probably not anymore.
No,
Probably
it's,
not.
I don't know if they charge any more than that for check, you know, when you're, I've got a Hawaiian, you know, credit card, Hawaiian miles card, and I get the first free as part of the deal, and then
okay.
and then I get a reduced rate, I think, on the additional check-in baggage.
But what it cost you to mail it to Hawaii, though? It would have cost you at least.
Oh no,
$100.
this one I found over here.
Oh, you found over there instead of back.
Yes,
Oh,
that was somebody else had brought it over.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
Well, what are those national sets got away? Those with the coils, those got to be more than 50 pounds, 60 pounds.
It just depends on what they are, yeah. And I got another national that I had one when I was on the mainland, and I sold it because I didn't have room for it. Then I ended up finding one over here in the same lot.
I'll be darned.
It's a NC 100 XA, which is kind of to me it's a real neat set. It's got a fan dial, and it has a moving catacomb band changer underneath and stuff. And
well, that has set coils that you slide in and out of it, right?
Well, this one has a tray underneath, and it position as you change bands, it slides the coil set on a track underneath and positions the contacts.
I'll be darned.
So it's the same as having like a plug-in coils. Like the HROs have plug-in coils. James Mellon was the engineer designer, and he did not like band switches and the losses and the not as good isolation, I guess, and stuff. So that HROs have those plug-in coils, and then these other series that came later, they have a catacomb or something like that, you call it, and it's on a track, and it has all the coil sets in there, and it just positions them. They have contacts, and so it just positions them in the right spot.
Kind of like a turret tuner in a TV set, huh?
A CD,
kind of like a turret tuner, yeah, kind of like that. But it's on a flat track that goes across, so instead of a round.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Did you have that big speaker that sits on top too?
No, this didn't have that. No, you're thinking of Hallicrafters.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, I thought it was a national speaker because it also has places for the coils that you can set in there.
You mean, that's a separate, yeah, no, this didn't have that, no.
That's a wholly separate thing, that speaker that sits
Yeah,
on top.
that's a different rack mount speaker with the coils, place the coil sets of the HROs. That's an option. Usually they came in an oak kind of box that the coils slide into.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big speaker for a communication set too, though, right? I mean, to me, it looked
Yeah,
like
well, they vary. They had different ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But boy, that's a lot of weight. Those are boat anchor clippers.
Yeah. Well, no, they're not as bad as some things, but.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, oscilloscopes were in that range too.
Yeah,
Oh,
very
they're
much so.
The transformers in them.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
50 to 60 pound range was
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of a standard.
Yeah, when tech doesn't cut corners on those things.
No. Until I got some portables out. Why? Yeah, those were heavy.
So you're going to have to tell me what, of course, I guess, Franklin, you probably don't know the communication sets though, but so what was in there?
There was a lot of helicopters. There was some nationals. Yeah, I'll have to, of course you'll get the inventory, but I have to get some good pictures of them for you.
Yeah.
Did you see the stuff that we got auctioning off this Saturday?
No.
I can show you. Help me identify them, you guys. So we'll go here, and I'll just upload these in.
So I guess the club didn't paid a flat rate for what was left in the radios or something, or?
No, it was all free.
Free, wow. Oh, so that was the all or nothing. They had to haul all of it out, or what are they gonna do? I kind of thought about the all or nothing. I guess they could have hauled half of it. Says, just not show up. But no, anyway, just being funny there. But wow, free, huh?
It was all free.
Wow, that's pretty neat. A lot of work though.
A lot of work. Of course, I can't help, and I kind of feel guilty about that. But I can drive back and forth.
Yeah, well, driving helps though too. So.
Yeah, and I drove the Howards down there and back out. But so these are some of the ones that these didn't come with that group. This is another donation that we got 100% stuff. So
wow,
there's a couple of Bakelite there.
Yeah,
that's a Zenith.
Yeah, I see that. I've seen those before.
These are the ones that will go on auction. That's called a bread box.
That one back one there, this back.
This one?
I think that's a Stromberg-Carlson, I think. Or Stromberg-Carlson.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have one just like that I picked up here. It's white. And just a basic American 5 or 6, whatever, but same radio.
These all look very clean.
Yeah.
The dial looks a little messed up in the middle there though, right?
Oh yeah, I see that.
Other than that, I think are those the right knobs on there?
Yeah, those are the right knobs on that.
Oh yeah, oh cool.
Of course the color may be wrong. I mean, or could have swapped, but because you thought that might be darker, but I have the same radio in white, and it has those kind of cream colored knobs on it.
Now, what is that hole missing there? Is that for some kind of indicator that's supposed to be hooked on there? You're on the Zenith. Can you see that?
I see that. I can't tell, but that could be.
I thought that might, but there's nothing on this side, which I thought was interesting.
Those are weird ass knobs, though.
But it looks like a factory hole, doesn't it? It's not a rough.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty smooth hole. No, I don't know. It looked like there should have been like a scutcheon or something there, but.
Well, maybe they have a little plastic window that when you click it on, it like a little red flag gets behind it. Just a guess.
Or it's a pilot light.
Or pilot light, yeah.
Oh, there we go. And this is called a bread box, right? Isn't
Yeah.
These little.
Kinda, yeah. I've seen those. Yeah.
You've seen these. That's a Silvertone, right?
Yep.
This one looks good too. I think that's kind of interesting radio. And they just got pretty cool knobs on this one, the Zenith. Same kind of two-tone knobs.
And it's got another hole at the top of the dial there, which is probably another dial light.
Dial light?
Yeah, about the same size hole. Right at the
Oops,
top of
right there. Yeah, right there.
Yep, that's probably the indicator. I bet it's a, like you say, it's probably a little, probably has a little wet red window and a little lamp behind it.
And that clock radio, right?
Yeah.
Is that considered, is that considered a whole nother category when clock radios seem to be looked down on quite a bit, right? I mean, in general. Or am I just seeing the people that don't like clock radios? What do you think of this? I think this is cool looking. It looks like it has a, what is that, alligator skin?
Yeah.
Either alligator skin.
Well,
pad.
it's just like I say, it's all types. I mean, I usually prefer like the wood radios from the 30s, and but
This is an RCA.
But I've shifted to looking for more small things.
Would you know what model number that was or something like that? What this one would be?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And then they got a Sony, and then there's a national. These are transistor ones.
Yeah. And now some of that one would not be, but some of the shortwave national Japanese ones. That's National Panasonic or
Right.
There's another name that goes with Matsuba or something like that. And yeah, the later ones that had shortwave, some of them are real collectible and popular.
Yeah, there's some pretty good ones out there.
Yeah.
That they made at one time or another.
No relation to national radio in the U.S. though.
No.
Those would have been early 30s, right? National U.S. ones.
National U.S. went from the 20 in the probably later 20s, no late 20s, I think, as and until the 70s.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't. So they were both around at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And National actually made some parts, and there was some other. I think they were a toy maker. I think maybe before they were radio or parts or something like that.
Can you date a radio by saying all transistor? I know there's transistorized, and then there's all transistors, and then they also did numbers, right? So.
Well, not by that, but I mean they're going to be that's just marketing saying all transistor.
All transistor, right?
Yeah.
Well, they use transistors as diodes.
Yep. The transistors came out in what or I think the first transistor portable was the Regency, which 54. I think. Yeah,
54.
But when they got on the rage for how many transistors you had, wow, you can just make
like
diodes.
10 transistors, and it turns out it's really about the 6 transistor circuit with a bunch of diodes in there.
Yeah.
So that was a marketing thing, huh?
Oh yeah, just like the tube count.
Yeah.
This looks like a nice one with an eye tube on it.
Yeah.
Now those are selectors, right?
Yeah. Push button, selectors,
They slide down. They don't
Push
actually
button
go.
tuning. Yeah.
What is this section on the upper section there? Is that an indicator? As you push that down, it'll indicate, or I don't know.
I think that's the you push something in there to set that particular button.
Oh, I see. So that's where you set the channels.
Yeah. You tune the channel in, then you poke something in there, and then you push the button down, and you take your tool back out, and now when you push that button down, you get that channel every time.
Now, does that top open? Is that why it's split like that? Or is that just part of the design? Looks like the speaker and the radio are separated.
Can't
Or is
tell.
that-
The resolution's not good. If it, yeah.
Yeah. So it might just be a design.
Well, you look at the base, it looks solid across the bottom.
Yeah, that's solid there. So they wouldn't separate, but this looks like a really nice wood radio here.
Yeah.
The Zenith. And it's shortwave too.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
and that's about 1940. And you can I've got well, the club's got books there too, but you got the Zenith collector books, and they have all those models in there. You can look them up pretty easy by picture identification if you can't find the numbers on the chassis, which would be in the back or underneath. And there's a code. There's different manufacturers have codes. Zenith, you can tell the year it was made, and if it's shortwave, and AC/DC by the model number, the way they build them.
That Crosley. Yeah.
Wow, that Crosley's got its tuning and volume hanging out to the side like
Well, the one on top is a Zenith. I mean a Philco, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Or is it?
yeah.
Yeah. Like a
Philco.
Philco.
Yeah.
Is that wooden or is that? You think that's not?
That's plastic, and
it's plastic.
that's pretty. Usually they're it looks like the plastic might be kind of discolored, huh? Because I just don't see the dial very well.
Yeah, it may have been in the sun too long.
Yeah.
This was I found really interesting. I don't think I've seen a Zenith like this before. The dial like that. Did that be from the 30s too?
No, that's late. That's in the 40s.
No, wait a minute. That's not a radio.
What?
You sure?
I don't think so. What are the numbers there?
It looks like
It looks like that's I think that's no, I think that's a broadcast radio.
it goes all the way to 180, right? I think it's 55,
Yeah, 55 to
60, 73.
1600. Yeah, that looks like it's broadcast radio.
Oh, okay.
But that's pretty unique like that, right? I don't think I've ever seen one like that. So
Yeah. No, that would be in the late 40s, I think.
pretty interesting design.
Yeah.
That Motorola looks kind of neat, but what's all that crust on the knobs?
Fungus.
Is it it's the fungus growing there?
Yep. Some of the plastics, the fungus really like.
What's the best way to clean that? Just like detergent?
A good one is, come on. It's a household cleaner.
Like 409 or something, or
No, stronger.
You'd avoid stuff with bleach, right? So you wouldn't want anything with bleach in it, maybe. Huh. How about like Ajax, stuff like that? Would that be too strong? It has
Might
some
be.
grip in it.
might be
No.
too abrasive.
Too abrasive?
I use some stuff called crud cutter or crud, something like that. Seems to be pretty strong, but
I know Mr. Carlson or Paul Carlson, that Mr. Carlson's lab, he uses stuff called Vim, which is but it's not available here. I think it's a Canadian thing.
All right.
But it's like a powdered detergent. Which Bruce is gonna go get it.
yeah, good.
Did you see this roll up here? I don't have a very good picture of it, but it's got a roll up like a roll up front on it.
Well, that's the one next on your. Yeah, that's probably a Philco, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't have a good picture of it. I don't know why I missed that one. Oh, maybe I do at the end here. Let me see. Well, I have a wide picture of it? Yeah, here it is. That's pretty neat. Can you see what it is? Is it Philco?
I'm guessing. Because they had Philcos that had the roll top desk kind of cover.
Yeah, that's PHICO, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can close it, right? So it just
Yeah.
looks like a box. And then this looks like an old Variac, right? Or an old Variac.
Yeah. Looks kind of like it.
Straight ammonia.
Just straight ammonia, huh?
I use ammonia especially for cleaning battery contacts that are corroded.
Oh, really?
It just, it's the only thing I've seen do such a great job at battery contacts. You just don't want to get it inside the radio. So you got to be careful on how you daub it and rinse it. And then you need to rinse it good. But
take the knobs off.
well, yeah, the knobs, but battery contacts are sometimes close to circuitry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I see what you're talking about.
Yeah, just a little Variac.
An old-fashioned Variac?
Well,
not necessarily.
Oh, really? Oh, look at it. There's a ground.
It's got
on
a grounded plug, so that's newer.
Oh yeah, grounded plug in the top too.
Yeah. So it's a little bit newer by the looks of it.
I noticed there's something back there. What is that? Part of the Variac, you think?
No, that's another something.
Something.
Another something. Yeah.
Huh. Any guesses?
So the
Looks like something.
The Transoceanic also has the knob problem with that.
Yeah.
Look at that, all that mold.
Yeah.
Or the white stuff.
Now, isn't there still a glut of Transoceanics around?
There is. Amazing how cheap we got them. Last one I bought, a working unit, $6.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's a 600 too. I actually haven't even messed with it, but this is a 600L, I believe, right? Or do you know them? They look so much alike.
Yeah. I don't know about the L, but
600 sounds about right.
something like that. Yeah, I'm not.
I think this is the most interesting one for me. This one, kind of interesting.
I wonder
But
if that's a battery version.
You think so?
It kind of looks like a battery radio. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And it probably has. I'm sure it probably has miniatures in it too.
Yeah.
Battery with miniature, so it would have a vibrator in it then, right?
Nope.
No. They'd have like a 90 volt or 45 volt battery in there probably.
Yep.
Would have separate batteries.
Yeah. Have an A battery and what is it? Probably an A and a B battery, right?
Yep.
Though that roll up is awful cute. And then, like I said, I've never seen the Zenith like that with that weird dial.
Yeah.
He's got some interesting radios for auction. And then we're gonna have a lot.
Sounds like you're gonna have a lot more.
Yeah, exactly.
Have to get selective.
Now I'm really curious what that is back there. Looks like there's a wire, something wrapped around it. Some a blower or something, or I don't know. He said you can't see enough of it.
Nope.
That's a blower to have on your bench to blow the smoke away.
That magic smoke, huh?
Yeah.
So
Well,
if it has
soldering smoke.
yeah, well there you go. If it has a ground on it, what era would this be? And Phillips screws on it.
Some of that looks homemade.
Yeah.
Oh, you think that's a homemade unit?
Hard to
Could-
tell.
It's hard to tell, but
The
I
knob
don't know
looks
when
good.
grounded plugs became real common.
Yeah, the Phillips screws, they don't look like they belong there. And of course, the annotation for the volts looks tacky.
Too small.
The knob looks like what it would come with a Variac when you buy it.
You think that the indicator part is broken? Or is why it's like that? Or
The what?
the indicator, see, it's got a dot indicator and then like an arrow indicator, but it kind of looks broken there.
Oh, that looks okay to me.
Oh, that part's right there.
Yeah.
That looks
I don't
normal.
think it could very well be.
Yeah, it looks normal.
How high do you think that goes?
It looks just like mine. The
Oh,
knob.
you got, oh, really?
Mine's a commercial one.
We got to see yours then.
Well, it's back here where you can't see it.
Oh,
But it's a commercial one. It's got a watt meter and a voltmeter on it. Oh, maybe you can't see it. It's right.
no, right there. Yours is nice and shiny though. Doesn't have all that white crud on it.
So here's a LED for you. Pretty big LED. About a half inch
Yeah.
by inch high. It's used as a photo flash. Takes about 2.5 amps.
Wow.
Puts out, well, you got to do a pulse. You can't run that DC. It'll burn it out right away. And I don't think you can actually,
It did.
no, you're going to be out of focus, but you can actually see the internals of it there.
Oh yeah.
But it's too out of focus.
But that's out of a flash?
It was a custom flash they used in production at Tektronix that they were using to line things up.
You know, Mr. Carlson was working on that on a signal generator that had a what they called a chopper on it, where they have a light source to chop it. Now, what is that actually for? I mean, he didn't actually go into what that chopper was for, but it actually needed had a light sensor inside this little box. He ended up putting LEDs in there so that it would chop and he called it a chopper, but he really didn't explain what's that used for in the meter.
It's a signal generator or a meter?
A meter. I mean, I'm sorry, it's a meter. Yeah.
What kind of a meter?
It's a multi-purpose meter, but I think that part was on the voltage part of it.
Okay, so it's a voltmeter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's probably a very high impedance voltmeter.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And what you're doing is you're taking a circuit and you're going over to the voltmeter and you're taking a sample and then you're taking it over to a capacitor to store that particular voltage that is then amplified. And you've got a feedback circuit that's trying to basically make the measurement look like an infinite resistance, because all voltmeters have a resistance to ground, okay?
Okay.
So if you don't have much current out there, you don't measure the proper voltage. So you want your meter to be very high input impedance. And so with a chopper amplifier, you can get that capability.
And they use light. They use light to do that.
I haven't heard about the light.
Oh, really?
They usually use a lamp and an oscillator, part of the controller. And that's the biggie that HP came out with their first product, the audio oscillator. And they had a lamp with a filament, not a gaseous lamp. Of course, they didn't have LEDs then. But anyway, it has a negative temperature coefficient. And so the more current you put through it, the higher the resistance goes, much more dramatically than a normal filament lamp. And so that helps keep your output level at the same level, even as you change frequency and load.
I see. So it's kind of a storage idea, right? So you're actually storing, and to time it, you use the oscillator and a filament to time it, right? So you know the right timing. That's what they're really used for? Or am I thinking?
I don't know that they would actually use the incandescent bulb for an oscillator for doing this kind of measurement.
I think that was in the AGC circuit or something like that, so it leveled the output.
Right.
And the variable resistance somehow come into play about it. If the output goes up or down, it would since it had a different resistance, as you said, depending on the current going through it, maybe it tend to. It's part of the circuit that make it a flat output.
Yeah.
So a high failure rate in those because you're using an incandescent bulb with a oscillator, right? So
no,
no?
They're running it at relatively low voltage compared to the filament. They would just be an orange glow. And at the orange glow, you're not going to burn a filament out in a long, long time.
Right.
But it doesn't, as far as putting light out, it's not very efficient at that
Right.
current level. But that's not what it's for. It's for
Like you say,
keeping
you're looking at the variable resistance to help regulate it.
Mhm.
Pretty interesting because he bought these meters and those were missing out of this meter. I mean, that was one of the things. So he actually designed a LED one to replace the incandescent ones to go in that place. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that won't work.
Oh, really?
Not for an oscillator, no,
No, yeah.
because it won't have a negative resistance to it. It'll be positive.
Pretty interesting. Thank you so much, Bruce.
Yeah, you look at the LED and the higher you drive it voltage wise, really you don't drive it voltage wise. You usually have a series resistor. But basically, as you drive it higher and higher, the current keeps going up. You try an incandescent bulb, and at low voltage, the current's relatively high. And as you keep increasing the voltage, the current keeps going down.
No, they're kind of opposite of each other then, right?
Yeah.
Huh.
There are limits to that.
Eventually it burn it out if you get it go too high though, right? It means become a big resistor.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna pop out of here. You guys take care.
Yeah.
All righty. I'll
And
be zooming the meeting. So if you happen to be around, you can jump on the Zoom meeting, see what's going on.
oh, so I can order online, huh? Or
Yeah, free stuff, or you can bid online too.
bid
You too,
online.
Mark.
Oh, that's for this coming Saturday, right?
Yeah, I'll be doing that online too. So
Okay, yeah. We need to watch, see what's going on then. So.
Yeah, he's our IT manager. He's doing a hell of a job. All right, later.
See ya.
Bye, guys.
See you guys.
Yeah, I gotta get going here too, pretty quick, very frankly. I didn't plug in my laptop, and it's
All right, I'm glad-
it's on the way down. But anyway, I appreciate the information, know what's going on there. It's always fun to know, just to see what you guys are up to. So
It was exciting. It was kind of cool to talk to the guys though. We spent a lot of time in the car. It's way down there. It's 100 miles away.
isn't that down near Eugene, right?
Yeah. Sweet Home is probably the closest
Oh, okay.
city, but yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to hang out with the Howards, and
Yeah.
also I got to talk to Tom, and you never spend that much time